Hello all, I'm Jamie Rogers and I'm here representing Creative Expressions Challenge. Now, I don't know if you've seen this on social media, but Creative Expressions have decided to launch a 30-day challenge with a different topic every single day. Now, sadly, I won't be able to join in for all of them, but today I'm going to help kick things off by sharing with you a butterfly card, as our first topic is butterflies. Now, what we would like to see you do is work along with any of our products and create some butterfly inspired cards and then share them with us on Facebook or through our different social media channels. Mine personally is Jamie Rogers Crafts, and I too would love to see what you create. In actual fact, the card I'm going to make with you today, I will be giving it away to one lucky participant. So I will upload this to my page, and then all you have to do is post your butterfly inspired cards in the comments and I will pick one lucky winner. We would also really appreciate it if you could pop your cards on the Creative Expressions official Facebook page as well, so a different audience can see them and we can all participate and comment. So with this in mind, your challenge basically can be to create anything butterfly inspired. With my one, I decided that I really love this die cut. This is actually a Sue Wilson filigree lace design. It's a finishing touches die and I absolutely love it. It's one of my go-to butterflies. So as you can see on my card, I've double layered this, but what we're going to do is we're going to jump in and we're actually going to create this card from start to finish, a bit like we do on the telly, to hopefully give you a few ideas. If you have any questions, of course you can pop them in the comments to these videos and I will do my best to answer them with you, but this is what we're actually going to attempt to create. So for my card, obviously you're going to be allowed to use whatever you wish to, but for my card, I really wanted to play with the Opal Blaze products. Now I know these are fairly new and you may not have seen these yet, but they're one of my favourite products to play with. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 2 of the 7 colours. Now there are actually 7 in the collection. They come in these lovely little jars and I'm going to delve in and we're going to use teal raspberry and let's go for sapphire grape. So if you haven't seen them before, Opal Blaze basically comes in these little jars. We have our little lid that comes off. We have a little safety airlock lid inside there just to keep your product fresh inside the jar. And then in here we actually have our cream. Now our pots do come quite filled. I've just been using mine quite a lot over different demos and prepping for my Opal Blaze shows on Create and Craft as well. So all I'm doing for this one is just picking the product up with the tip of my finger. If you don't like using your fingers, then of course you can use daubers. Through this video, we'll also be using a couple of other different products as well. But I'm just laying this on top of our butterfly. Now with each of our Opal Blaze colours, as I say, they do come in 7 shades, but each shade is chocked full of interference mica. So when we move them through the light, you can actually see up to 5 different shades of colour dancing. I'm hoping you're seeing these clearly come through. But what we can also do with them is mix them. So as you can see, I've just gone down the edges of my wings with one colour. We're now going to take our teal raspberry. I'm going to hook a little bit of this out and we're going to go over the middle of our butterfly with the next colour. So there's no reason you can't blend these together to create even more colour combinations. You don't just have to stick with the one out of one jar. With 7 colours to choose from, your combinations could be epic, couldn't they? So just brush that over the tips there, and then hopefully now, again with our lovely teal raspberry, you're seeing hints of teal and raspberry as I move this through the light to capture them different colours. Now obviously I am only at home today, so my lighting isn't exactly brilliant for these things, but hopefully you're getting to see that lovely effect dancing on top of our cardstock. So that's how we're going to create our butterfly. For my one, I've actually used 2 different layers, shaped them and put them together. And now we're going to go on to looking at a couple of other things. So this actually is quite good fun. I don't need this for today's card, but while we're talking about Opal Blaze, it's always nice to show you different ways you could use them. So again, with your finger over the top of some embossed cardstock, you could really end up creating some lovely effects. This one, for instance, is Sunset Orange. So we'll just pop them over a couple of the areas as well. These, of course, are going to look beautiful on embossed card. Really highlight that texture for you. So again, not necessarily something we need to do right now, but nice to know. Another way I quite like to use them actually is with a cotton earbud. If you wish to be more delicate in what you're trying to create, you can always come out and highlight areas just using the tip of a cotton earbud to give you more direction. Again, finger daubers can be great for these too. Or of course you can use your smoothies, but we're going well off track because we're meant to be talking about butterflies. That isn't a problem. It's nice for you to see some different ways we can use our products. So next up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a white and a black layer of our Paper Cuts Owl design. Now you may have seen me with these on telly recently. If you didn't, let's chat about those just a bit more. So Paper Cuts are a wonderful set of dies, a lovely brand of dies that Creative Expressions have. And we do a couple of different types of paper cuts, and these are one of our newest styles to launch. So what that means is in each set you actually receive 4 different dies, and the dies will just cut into your card so they can stay there as a frame if you wish to have them like that. So for instance, we have our outside edge, which you would cut. We have your intricate first layer, which you can cut. Then you have your next layer down, and then we actually have our little owl that can go into the centre of our design. Now, because I'm using a butterfly for my card, because that's the topic of today's challenge, I'm going to leave the owl out of this one. But I actually think that's quite important to show you too, that there's no reason you can't use your frames that you have for other pieces. I actually think these could be really nice as inserts to your cards, or maybe the top of boxes, items like that. It doesn't always have to be stacked with each of the items. Look at them as individuals as well. There's several designs in this collection, and I just absolutely love these. So we're going to pop them to one side, and we'll bring over, actually let me show you that one. This is the piece that I've used to create this frame. Now bear in mind they will stay in your cardstock, so this bit is up to you. If you wanted this to be larger, if you wanted to do it on the side of your card, if you wanted this to be an aperture on the front of your card, you can do anything you wish to with them. Because there isn't an outside cutting blade to this, it will literally stay in your card. Of course, if you wanted to, you could use that outside edge that does come with them and actually marry that up to cut a frame if you prefer. But I actually really like leaving these on my card or in my card. So how we're going to colour this one is we're going to bring in a stencil brush. Now, a stencil brush is just a slightly more stiff bristled brush, lots of bristles pumped into there, and they tend to be circular in size. And we're going to use this to pick up our different colours. So this time I'm going to go for Gilded Avocado from our Opal Blaze collection, and I'm just going to try and take off the colour from the side of the jar here, because this is a bit like when you use any of the Creative Expressions or Cosmic Shimmer polishes. You really don't want a lot on your bristles. We don't want to paint with this. We just want to be able to go in and stipple over the top of an area. So I don't want to colour all of my frame. We're just going to do a corner of this. I've got one I've already done, but we're just going to highlight over the top just to show you a different way of using your product. Because of course you know that from our butterflies we can be really full on with these, and we can really cover an area intensely. But it's actually quite nice to show you how you can be quite subtle. So if you wish to, you can just highlight different pieces of it. Of course you could then bring in your cotton earbud if you wanted to. This isn't something I've done before actually, but if you wanted to, you could say, well, I'm going to highlight that area even more intently. So we could just use our tip of our brush here, or our cotton bud, to actually highlight just them finial pieces inside our frame. And then you've got that nice outer edge just stippled in instead. What we can also do, obviously a good idea is to wipe your brush in between, but we're not going to do that because of, you know, time and videos and all that. Like, who wants to watch me clean brushes? So instead we're going to delve in and we're going to go for Turquoise Peach, and then we're going to stipple this over the top of that. So again, because we're stippling, because we're not filling the card, there's no reason why you can't mix your colours again, and then you're going to end up with this really nice sort of diamond encrusted effect where your colours actually overlay. And again, because we've got up to 5 colours in each shade or each jar that we're using, we now have up to 10 colours just by mixing them 2 shades together. And you can carry on doing that as much or as little as you wish to. With this frame, I also quite like it if you pick up the colour or one of the colours that you wish to use and just run it around the inside part of the frame just to tie that together, especially if this is a colour that you're then going to use on your butterfly or your flowers or whatever else you're working with. So the one I've just used here is Sunset Orange. So to create that effect that we've used Gilded Avocado, we've used Turquoise Peach, and we've used Sunset Orange. So don't forget, that's just 3 of the 7 colours available. So very quickly we can create some really stunning effects with these. Now you might be wondering how they look on white card, because obviously everything I've been doing up till now is on dark card. Now dark card is the part that really makes that interference mica pop. So dark card, you're certainly going to get more of a colour variation, you're going to get a better effect with them, but there's nothing stopping you using these on white card. So we'll go in with our Turquoise Peach, we'll use our stencil brush again for this, and we'll just dab this one over the top. And I'll do a bit of the Turquoise Peach on the black in a second, just so you can see the difference basically. So as you can see on our white card, what we end up with is just a really nice pearlescent finish. You can see parts of that colour really pop as we move it through the light still, but it's certainly not as intense as it is when we have that black underlay colour. So just to give you an idea, let's bring this in and we'll just pop a bit of this down onto our black card here, just so you can see the difference. So really, it does pop on the black a lot more. But it's nice to know you can use it on the white, and you can take this, which is just ordinary bright white foundations card, and change it into a really nice pearl card without any expense really. You know, it's a cheaper cardstock, but yeah, you can have a pearl effect to it and have a more luxury feel. So we'll pop our opal polishes to one side for the minute while we go on and look at our layers and see what we can create. So already I have got one of our noble frames. Let's just try and get our polish off my hands. I've taken one of our noble frames. I've cut the actual rectangle out of the middle here. Because of it isn't actually the piece at the middle I wanted, it's the frame. I've then trimmed around the edge here using a trimmer. And then we'll take off our double-sided tape from this one. Trying not to get the Opal Blaze that's all over my fingers, all over everything I'm working on, which isn't as easy as it sounds. Pop them out of the way, and then we'll bring our frame in and we will pick up our design. There we go. And then from here we will just take some scissors and we'll trim around the edge. Now I'll try to hold my scissors on a diagonal edge here so that we can trim off any excess, and then you won't see it because of the frame will hide all of that extra detail, and it just saves me trying to die cut or cut my frames to be too precise. I know I don't need to do that if I'm going to trim around the edge. So we'll take off them excess bits. We'll bring in some foam tape. Now, if you were doing this at home, you could take a bit more time with this and do a few more areas. You could do it all the way around the side. But for the sake of speed, we'll just highlight a few corners just to keep our frame in the air. So these dies are actually one of my favourite sets from Paper Cuts. I think the idea of actually having the different layers can lend itself to creating so many different things. As somebody who likes creating boxes, for instance, this would make a really nice top to a box or a side to a box. And although with my layers, I'm actually foam padding these, you don't have to if you don't want to. These can look really nice done flat as well. So we're going to pick up our next frame down. This again has been coloured as I show you with our Stencil Brush to create our effect. I've also done the same on our white frame as well, so that one also has been coloured. And then we'll go back to this side, we'll pick up a bit more foam tape, and we'll go in for our last level of our panel. Pick these pieces up. So it's going to be really lovely to see how you lot take on this challenge. As I say, the Creative Expressions Challenge is on for 30 days, which is obviously a really good thing to keep us busy. I know a lot of us are obviously in self-isolation as recommended by the government, so it's a nice idea at the moment to have things to keep us busy and things to do, isn't it? So this could be a really fun way for you to join in and see what other crafters are creating as well, and take inspiration from their ideas too. Now, although I'm obviously only showing you one butterfly card on this video to give you a bit of an idea, if you go to my Facebook page, which is Jamie Rogers Crafts, you will also find on there's quite a few other photos in the photo albums from past shows which have butterflies on them as well. So if you wish to, do go have a look through them for a bit more inspiration. Equally, the Creative Expressions official Facebook page, which is designed just for you lot to share your creations on. I'm sure you'll find quite a few butterfly cards on there as well. And of course, Creative Expressions also have a Pinterest page or boards. Never very good with Pinterest, never too sure what to call that, but we do have Pinterest boards full of cards and creations too that you might appreciate a little look through. So on the background of my card, you're going to notice I have this lovely pinstripe design. This is something I do quite a lot. I find that when I've got a back like on the card that we're looking at today, a backing showing through, sometimes embossing folders can be a bit too busy and distract from what's going on, but white card can just be a bit too boring for me. So I like to have something going on with it. It's also quite nice, like on this card, if it extends out of your mats or your layers so that you see it elsewhere on your card as well. So all I've done is just taken an ordinary scoreboard and literally scored at every 0.5 centimetre. and just to build up a background. Of course, if you wanted to, if you do like this effect or you do like this idea, then you can start going off and creating different ideas. You could put it onto your board and do them diagonally. You could do like I've done here, and then you could do a bit of a crosshatch idea, especially for men's cards sometimes. I know that's something else we all struggle with. Just something as simple as a couple of cross lines can really fill them areas around the other items we're doing. Even like this obviously isn't the idea, but you could easily bring a butterfly on here, sentiment down there, a couple of mats and layers, and you could have some really nice quick creations. So something like that might be quite nice. But for my background, I've just done every ½ centimetre as a backing. And then we're going to bring over our panel and we're going to pop this on with our acorns at the base here. There we go. Pop that into the middle. And then we're going to take our butterfly that I did earlier. So this one is using 2 butterflies nested together. Don't forget that's the Sue Wilson lace design. And then we're going to take our foam pads off the back here. There we go. And we'll pop that in the centre of our element. There we go. And then we're going to look at some flowers as well. So our flowers once again have been created using our Opal Blaze. And the same style as how we did our butterfly earlier. All we're going to do is take one colour, using the tip of my finger, we're going to rub this in all over the top of the flower. And then we're going to take our next colour, so we'll go back to our teal raspberry. It's amazing how you get your little favourites, isn't it, and working within your favourites. We're going to colour the tips of that one, just so that we have them several shades again going on from our interference mica in there. So again, by layering your colours, you're getting even more variation. You can also paint with these, by the way. If you hook them out and use a water brush, I forgot to bring a water brush over, but if you hook them out of a water brush and mix them together on like a little palette, you could then paint with these and create some really stunning effects that way too. The gilded avocado is one of my favourites, especially when it comes onto leaves. So this is one of the leaves we're working with. The flower, by the way, that I'm using today is a Sue Wilson Cosmos flower. It's actually one of my favourite flower designs because you get all the leaves in with it. And with the flower, we're looking at only the solid area of the flower, but there is also a lacy design that goes over the top, or an open work. So if you want to map them together on sticky sheets and fill in the middle of the petals with glitter, you can do items like that. But hopefully we'll get to show you that in future videos and different bits if you haven't seen me do that on the telly with this set before. But as you can see, the gilded avocado is really lovely for your leaves. Again, working on an ordinary black foundations card, it really does give you that beautiful shimmer to them. So my flowers I have created, I have used several layers from my Cosmos flower set. I also have several of my leaves ready to go too. I've already put a foam pad on the back of these, and we've got a bit of a smudge down this side from my finger using the opal. So we're going to bring in our flowers. We'll pop them on a different side this time. It doesn't matter. We can go with that. We'll pop our 3 flowers down on here. And then using my trusty Cosmic Shimmer Glue, I love my Cosmic Shimmer Glue, we're going to bring a bit of that out onto a blob on our scrap sheet. And we can take our leaves and add these in. So don't forget with your challenge, obviously you have today to create your butterfly inspired card. I know the team have got plans for different challenges every single day for the next 30 days. Of course, you don't have to join in with all of them. If you've got other things going on, or you know, you don't want to do them, you don't have to do all of them. But it's just a nice community thing, isn't it? I think sometimes, especially in these times, we need activities to keep our mind active and bits to inspire us to break into our craft stash and use different items to what we may have possibly put to one side and forgot about for a while or not yet used. So this might be a good way to G us up into using a few of them ideas. Being honest, having seen the list of your 30 days, there's a few bits on there I've never even attempted, and thought, well, actually, this could be a really good idea to actually break out and do something I've not done before. So I'm quite excited about it too. As I said earlier, I won't be able to do a video for every day. I might not even be able to join in every day, but I will certainly try and pop in and out throughout the 30 days and show you a few ideas along the way to hopefully help you. But what I will be doing is looking to see what you've been creating, and I will give you a comment where I can, when possible, just to see what you've all been up to, because I'm quite nosy. I love to see what people are doing, and it's really nice as a fellow crafter to see your creations, because if you've got some amazing ideas, and it will be lovely to share them and help inspire other people, especially at this time when we all need something to be doing. So all of the items I have used on today's cards are actually available through craftmaniacrafts.com. That's actually my personal store, mine and my mum's. And you can purchase all of those items through there. Obviously, all of them are available through Creative Expressions, so you're going to be able to find them in many other craft retailers too. So do have a little look about. But Craft Mania do have some offers on the products that we've been looking at the moment. Other things you might want to watch out for, if you haven't already seen, Gwen Fletcher will be joining us on Create and Craft on the 25th of March at 11 AM and 6 PM, and she has got some incredible demos lined up for you. So if you have got a bit of time to catch that, do make sure you see it. Also, just as a little heads up, I've started my own YouTube channel called Jamie Rogers Crafts. This will be the very first video that goes on there. If you can go and have a little look, find it and hit subscribe. You also have to hit the little bell notification to be told of every time I upload a video. But any of the videos I do for the 30-day challenge will be uploaded there, as well as on my Facebook page, Jamie Rogers Crafts. Don't forget, I will be giving this card away, so do look for that post on Jamie Rogers Crafts on Facebook, and you can enter for your chance to win. And I will literally send this anywhere in the world to whoever is chosen by random. Obviously, with postage at the moment, that might be a bit more tricky, but it will certainly be sent out to you as soon as I can do. Thank you so much for watching today's little video, and please do join in with the Creative Expressions 30-day challenge. I can't wait to see what you create. Bye for now.